Even though I remain a skeptic, I know a lot of you are talking about foldable displays. So let's talk about how and why they could be a game changer. And the first impact it could have is simple but a welcome one: increasing human interaction. Like in the spirit of the 80s when they played Battleship, you could face each other and play the same game on the same device. Or you could just face the humiliation while I teabag you on Fortnite. Think of the possibilities with one-on-one teaching and tutoring, or giving some sort of a business presentation or pitch to investors. And think about all the PC geeks out there who love having multiple displays for multitasking. Why can't there be a similar impact when it comes to mobile devices? It's possible. The recent apps or multitasking menu on Android was very popular because it speeds up how quickly you could access a previous app. But what if you could pin the previous app or most used app to one of your screens? Sounds enticing? Yeah, that's pretty helpful. It could also mean that cameras will get even better than they already are. You see, front-facing cameras are geared towards selfies, portrait images, and video calling. Rear cameras are dedicated to everything else. This leads to one camera being worse than the other as manufacturers try to optimize their spending and resources. With folding phones, specifically outward folding phones, the main camera could act as both the front and rear camera, depending on whether the device is open or closed. This would mean that manufacturers could focus on one exceptional camera rather than splitting their attention between two and freeing up valuable space inside the handset for other components. Another big benefit: fewer cracked screens. As foldable displays must be flexible by nature, they should be far less likely to shatter in an accidental trip to the floor. And finally, the biggest benefit in my mind is the fact that we will enter a new category of devices, which means that we won't get products that pretty much all look and function the same. But I told you before, I remain a skeptic, and I am not convinced that foldable displays will indeed be the next big thing that everyone gets excited about. I think it is going to be wearables. I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking wearables, God, they suck. They really haven't taken off. But if you think back, you probably can't think back because you're too young, but in the early 2000s, before the iPhone came out, we had smartphones. I had the Palm Trio. We had Blackberries. Blackberry really totally dominated that space. But the Palm Trio was trying to be the iPhone, right? They had, it was a phone, they had productivity apps, they had an operating system, they even had some games. But it was such a bad experience that I just stopped using the phone. I mean, it was so bad that I'd rather not have a phone at all than use the Palm Trio. That's how bad the Trio was. But then the iPhone came out and they did the same thing. They just did it much, much better. In fact, they did it so well that they created a whole industry. And quite frankly, it's the reason you watch a video on mobile operating systems. And no, I'm not talking about stupid glasses that no one should have ever thought would take off, or earpieces that don't really work or are clunky and hard to connect. I'm talking about some sort of wearable device or devices or combination thereof that extends the usability of our smartphones and makes us not have to look at this tiny little screen to access what we want, but opens up the world. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. When and where and by who, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below or on Twitter. IT people know how this works. You're trying to do focused, productive work on your screen, but your screen lights up like a Christmas tree with IT alerts and notifications. You're not being productive, you're being distracted. But you can reduce that noise with Moogsoft AI Ops by up to 99%. Moogsoft AI Ops is an algorithmic IT ops platform that reduces your IT alerts and tickets by up to 99%. By integrating with your existing IT tools so you can focus on tackling stuff that matters. Visit moogsoft.com for a free demo. That's moogsoft.com.